Chassidic gems on Akedas Yitzchak. The Akedah is something that we bring up throughout the Rosh Hashana Yom Kippur davening, and we'll hear the Chassidic gems on it. It says in the Pasuk, Avram Avinu says to Yitzchak, the Rebbeinu Shalom says to Avram Avinu, Kachno es bincho es yechidcho asher ahavta es Yitzchak v'haleu. Take your son, your only son, the son whom you love, es Yitzchak v'haleu sham la'olah, and bring him there as a burnt offering. That's the simple. The Chassidic Torah say, es Yitzchak v'haleu. You think Yitzchak means Yitzchak? Yitzchak means laughter and joy. Tzchaik. Every person has to bring his joy and his laughter to heaven. That everything, all his maisim, everything that he does should be l'shem shemayim. When a person rejoices, when a person is in simcha, he should bring that also up to Hashem. It should also be l'shem shemayim, not l'shem heilalus, not just for having fun, but it should be l'shem shemayim, to accomplish something for heaven with it. Harav HaKodesh Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem Tov. The pasuk continues, Chassidic gems, continuing Chassidic gems. Vayashkem Avrom ba'boker, vayachvosh es chamoiroi. Avram Avinu is ready to go to the Akedah. He gets up in the morning and he saddled his donkey. That's this simple. When it says Vayashkem, you think it means getting up early? It means Bimei HaNeurim, in your youth. At the early part of life, Baboiker, Yashkem Baboiker, we have to saddle our chumriyas, our gashmiyas, our materialism. We have to restrain ourselves from just going and living a life of gashmias. We have to dedicate our lives to ruchnias. We should be zeicher to this. Amen. Start young, to learn how to restrain ourselves from gashmias. Continuing with Chassidic gems on Akedas Yitzchak, Vayikach es shnei na'ora vitoi. He took the two youths with him. On his way to the Akedah with Yitzchak, he took along the two youths, his two youths, Yishmael and Eliezer. That's the simple. The Chassidic Torah Harav HaKodesh Reb Simcha Buna mi Parshischa says that Shnei Na'orav, you think it means his two lads? It means the enthusiasm of the years of his youth. When he went there like a young man to the Akedah, running to do the will of Hashem. And that's the way we have to do mitzvahs. No matter how difficult they are, if they're difficult, no matter how difficult, we have to run to them because that's what Hashem wants. He took the years of his youth with him. He took the islavas, the enthusiasm of his youth with him. Vayavaka atzei oilo. He cut wood when he started out to go to the Akedah. He took from his home, from where he was, he cut wood to go to the Akedah. And the question is, why did he cut the wood? Why didn't he wait till he got there? Why didn't he wait till he got to the Akedah to cut wood? Chassidic Torah tell us he thought maybe if he waited till he got to the place of the Akedah, he thought maybe his enthusiasm would weaken. Right now, he started out, and he was going full force, with full enthusiasm to do what Hashem wants, but he was afraid maybe that if he would wait to cut the wood when he got to the place of the Akedah, it would lessen. He wanted to make sure that the enthusiasm was full. Doing with Chassidic gems on Akedas Yitzchak, he cut wood for the korban, for the oila, for the burnt offering that was to be. That's the simple. The Chassidic Teirelach translate Atzei Oila, meaning eitzes, solutions, ways for Avram Avinu to ascend, Oila, to go to greater heights. That's what he was doing, and that was on his mind constantly. Atzei Oila, eitzes, how to grow and to grow in Ruchnius. Continuing with Chassidic gems on Akedas Yitzchak. So it says in the Torah, Vayar es hamokim mirochek. He saw the place from far. He saw where his destination will be to bring Akedas Yitzchak, to bring Yitzchak to the Akedah. That's the simple. He saw, Rashi says, Onon Koshur, he saw a cloud attached to the top of the mountain. He knew that this was the mountain. That's the simple. The Chassidic Teirelach tell us, Hamokei means HaKadosh Baruch Hu, many times, of course. So the pasuk says, he saw HaKadosh Baruch Hu from far. Not, of course, he didn't see HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but his closeness to the ruchnius of being close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu was somehow at a distance. Why? Because Zogt Horav HaKodesh Reb Avrom Yisochachav, he says that Min HaShamayim, they took away his levels, his tremendously high levels of Yitzchak, because if they would have left Yitzchak on the level that he really was, the whole the Akedah would not be any Nisayon whatsoever, would not be any test, because he was so great and so holy that it would be not even a test for him to do it. So he had to see Hashem Meirochek, he had to see Hashem, not really seeing Hashem, but his closeness to Hashem was at a distance a little bit, so the Akedah should be for him a test. Continuing with Chassidic gems on Akedas Yitzchak. So it says in the Torah that Avram Avinu took along Es Ha'esh Ve'es Hama'acheles. He took along the fire. He needed to bring a korban, so he took along the fire, and he took along the wood with the macheles. Macheles means the knife. That's the simple. See, the Teirelach tell us that Avram, on his way to the Akedah, was arming himself with schusim, with merits, to help him on the way to the Akedah. Either they shouldn't have to go through the Akedah, or whatever the help was. Avram Avinu took with him the zechuyos, the merits, es ha'esh, the merits of the fire, his mesiras nefesh, when he went into the Kivshan ha'esh, he went to a fiery furnace to sanctify Hashem's name. That was the schus he took with him. Ves ha'ma'acheles, you think ma'acheles means a knife? Ma'acheles means the fact that he was machnes orchim, and he was machel people, so many people. Those were the schusim. With that, he fortified himself. He prepared himself to go to Akedas Yitzchak, and Hashem should help him. A sikum of the Chassidic, of the Hashkafas HaTorah that we see in the Chassidic gems. We learned that everything we should do, our kavanah should be l'shem shamayim. Everything, even laughter, even joy, even whatever we do, we should have in mind l'shem shamayim, not just for fun, joy, but whatever we do, we should bring it up. It should be kavonasei l'shamayim. We learned that from the early youth, we should learn to restrain our desires for materialism. From the early youth, we should restrain. We should control, be able to control our desires for materialism. We learned that we should always, every mitzvah we do, we should do it with tremendous enthusiasm, and like young lads. We have to train ourselves to be able to do that. Avraham Avinu was only interested that his enthusiasm shouldn't wane at all. Every time he does something, it should be with full enthusiasm. We learned that Avraham Avinu's mindset was only atzei ola, to look for advice and solutions to be able to ascend to greater spiritual heights, and that should be our goals also. We learned that Avram was in such an incredible level of holiness, of ruchnius, that in order for the Akedah to be a nisayon, it had to be taken away from him. His high levels had to be reduced somewhat, so that he should be able to have the Akedah as an nisayon. He was at such an incredibly high level. And we also learned that the schusim of kivshan ha'esh, jumping into a fiery furnace to sanctify Hashem's name, tremendous chusim, feeding orchim, tremendous chusim. Those are the chusim he went to the Akedah with, and we should all learn from Avram how to do these things, what to do. We should all be zeicha to this and have a ksiv v'chsim eteva. Lanu l'chol Yisrael, Amen. Hashem should have rachmanis, and each individual Hashem should have rachmanis, and the entire Klal Yisrael. We should be zeicha to a ksiv v'chsim eteva. Lanu l'chol Yisrael, Amen v'yamen.